being a man is hard. It is. It really is. I mean, that's why you have so many these young men cutting off their hang downs and wanting to be women, because the weight on a man's shoulders, it's intense. You see, when you're a young man coming up in the world, at least back in my day, showing emotion was frowned upon. Man had a job, and he's had a job since fucking Eve handed him that damn apple. And that's to look out after women, look out after those that are weaker than him, younger than him, frail, that need the help. There are certain demographics of society, certain members of your family and your close circle. That was our job. And it always has been. The men have been the hunters, going out and getting shit done. And as hard as that is at times, we can't show it. We're told not to show it. We're told not to let the pain, let the severity, let the emotion show. Fast forward to the new millennia, and they've gone the complete opposite. They've turned men into weak, frail creatures. They've banished masculinity. They've made it a bad thing to be a strong man. We got to find that happy medium. You know, that middle ground. I mean, it's showing emotion isn't weakness. Showing emotion is strength. But you got to be able to control that emotion. You've got to be able to harness that emotion. Use it as a tool, not as a hindrance. And that's what society seems to be missing out on these days, is that they've made emotion matter more than anything. Feelings matter more than, and they don't. They don't. They do matter. We try day in and day out to do the right thing. And I don't know a single man out there who doesn't feel like he could do more. Who doesn't feel like I gave it 110% today, but maybe I could have given 115 or 120. And as we lay down on our pillow at night, that runs through our head, retreading everything that we've done throughout the day and thinking, okay, presented with this tomorrow, how will I do it different? How will I do it better? I know women go through shit, and I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm a man, and I will speak on behalf of men. I'm not one of these individuals that's going to talk on behalf of a race or gender that I don't have anything to do with. I'm a white man, growing up in the 90s and trying to navigate my way through this new world. And it's a crazy one. You see, we're dealing with a massive mental health issue in this country. Scroll through social media. Just take, I mean, especially right after the election, scroll through social media and you tell me that society is not retarded. And it's not like you're born retarded, like your mama did crack and your dad did fucking meth. No, like this is a chosen retardation. This is a cop-out. This is a weak way of going about things. And I'm not going to put it entirely on the individual. I'm going to put it a lot on the shoulder of society. As a man who deals with his demons day in and day out, and his darkness and his fighting like hell to not let the dark side come out to play. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. Society nowadays has made it more affordable, more accessible to medicate your problems away or to surgically alter your problems away than it is to just have somebody to fucking talk to. 99.9% of the time, if you can just go up and sit down and have a chat with somebody and express your feelings and let them know what's going on, you won't have to take a pill. You won't have to chop off your hang down. You won't have to do any of that shit. If you keep it all bottled up inside, it's gonna kill you. It's gonna kill other people around you. But that's where we're at today. Pharmaceutical companies and doctors and all of this much rather just write you a script. And insurance companies would much rather approve said script than to have you go out and just talk to a mental health care professional. And it's the way of the world nowadays. I mean, nobody just sits down and talks anymore. Gone are the days when you're riding around the frickin' neighborhood and looking for your buddy's bikes laying down next to that fucking green power box. And you guys sit down on that and talk for hours about, anything and everything. We had suicides back in the 90s, but they weren't as prevalent. Now you've got 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds offing themselves because they're stressed out. That's not a problem with them. That's a problem with their environment. There's signs. We're giving signs out day in and day out. We're letting people know that, hey, we need help. But it's so much easier for people just to turn their backs to us and say, yeah, they'll be fine. Most of us are not okay. Most of us are fighting like hell to keep that dark side in, to keep up appearances, to go about doing the manly thing. We come home and kiss our loved ones and do what we need to do at home, and we lay down and we're stuck in our heads. We're twisted. We're conflicted. We struggle. I've lost a lot of people to suicide here in the last 10, 12 years. More people than I care to even admit, And we're losing people day in and day out. See, suicide has never really crossed my mind. I'm not selfish like that. You know what I mean? I love those people around me. And I don't want to hurt them. I mean, suicide is selfish. It takes you out. Boom, that's it. But you got everybody else around you that's like, why do they do that? What could we have done better? And they tear themselves up. And then that continues that mental strife, that anguish, that pain. And I don't wish that on anybody. But I truly do wish that help is more accessible to people. Well, I mean, we're in a society, we're in a day and age where we'd much rather send money overseas to help people than we would to help our own, to take care of our own. The past 10 or so years has shown that the American society is falling apart. It's unprepared. It's over-medicated, heavily muted, continuously censored. And that's not how we need to be. It's not how we need to live. Fight like hell to keep the devil in. Fight like hell to keep those demons at bay. Fight like hell to walk away from the motherfuckers that just want to push, that want to tell you what you're doing is wrong, that want to deny you certain liberties and certain help that you need as an individual. Men, we got to do better. We do. We've got to do better. We got to be an example for these young bloods coming up. Let them know, hey man, you're having a rough time, talk it out. Holler at me, you know what I'm saying? Sit down, homie, let's have a fucking chat. We got to stop encouraging medications and surgeries to correct people's issues. We need to bring back that front porch time, you know, that sit down on the green electric box, bullshitting, chatting, getting it out. Because when you keep it all bottled up inside, it does no good. And I'm dealing with that myself, and I'm trying to relearn how to do things, how to live again. And there are times when I don't know if I want to just sit down in the corner in the dark and just bawl my eyes out, or if I want to go pick a fight. Maybe I'll get my ass kicked. Maybe I'll kick someone else's ass. I don't know. But that's what I look at. And that's the scary side. Both of those are extremes that, as men, we should resort to, because there's other men, other young men looking out at us and be like, maybe it is easy for me just to pop this pill. Maybe it is easy for me to go and get my little fucking hang down cut off because I'm struggling. Oh, I don't end up cuffed and stuff like this on gun, or wrapped in a freaking straitjacket in a rubber room. See, that's when you got to learn to control your emotions and use them as tools to build up and not to tear down. And I'm a prime example. I've done plenty of tearing down and not a whole lot of building up. A friend of mine said, we're in that midlife time of our lives. And like, yeah, it's time to course correct. It's time to do things different. And I'm hoping that with this platform, I can shed some insight, gain insight primarily, how other people are handling shit, how they're fucking living, how they're doing shit. And hopefully help other people that are going through the same kinds of things that 99.9% of the male population is going through this day and age. Old heads, young bloods, it's all the same. We've all got the same struggles. These young bloods have a little bit different, a little bit more difficult, you know, with the social media world, but we're all still fighting that fight, and we're all still trying to be better men for those around us. So I'm here. I'm sitting on that green electric box if you want to chit chat.